This is day 16, and yesterday there's no tournament, but me and my duo played 10 dual manu scrims. And I'm be honest, there's nothing on here because there's not really much significant things to talk about. So we're just gonna watch the scrim games. I'm not really sure exactly, like 100% what the mistake I made here, so I'm just gonna make a hypothesis. So I start the zone with the 138 build, and my teammate has 142. So we are probably the most stacked team in the lobby, right? And basically my thought process was, okay, we're on closing side on low. I could tarp the whole way, but there's this team on low here that could cut me off easily. And I'm on closing side, which is not ideal. So what I was thinking was I don't really want to tarp here on low ground. And my thought process was run on top of this on these builds and get in. But what ends up happening is that I use so many mats. So we start with 135. Right? And then we end with 58. 135 to 58. So we use 80 builds. 800 mats to get in this zone. Now, what I was thinking when I watched this back was, like, obviously, was there a way I could conserve more mats? And maybe I should have went late, was what I was thinking. So, like, I pulled zone kind of, not directly, obviously, because we're on closing. But let's say we sat here until zone went onto us. And we just wait. We went right now. Let's say we waited. Wait, now. And instead of exiting this way, look, there's no one even here. We just go out the back of our box, go up and over, go up, go here, boom. I swear, because we're on these high layers, we just stay below height. We can just cheap tarp across, and I swear we get in much cheaper. Now, I don't know for 100% if this would work or not, but I think it's definitely worth a shot. Just because the thing is, we had like no mats going into endgame, and that's the reason why we didn't do that well, is because we just burned so many mats. This game literally solidifies what I said about the last game, in my opinion. So clearly the game is stacked, 36 up. And when I think about my tournaments as a whole, in the Dual Victory Cup, for example, most of the games are dead. For the first 5 games, like until the last 2 games of the tournament, the games are very unstacked. 25 or less for end games, 25 people or less. It's easy to control low ground because look how many builds there are this game. Like, look at this. There's so many builds, and it pulls into congestion. Let's say the zone pulled this way. Yes, playing low ground would be very easy. Or if the zone pulled this way, there's no builds here. It's easy. But the problem is, it's too congested. I don't want to play through this. You know, there's too many builds, too many people in the game. And what I realized is I do good in dead games, because in dead games, there's not a lot of builds and not a lot of people, which makes it easy to play low ground and claim a side of low ground. But if you go up and over in dead games, there's not enough builds to cover you. And that's why it doesn't really work that well. And it's the opposite in stat games. In stat games, there's too many builds sometimes, like here. If it pulls into congestion, you can't go tarp on low ground like this. Like, what if this is just a dude camping in this house right here? Boom. Right? It's just so cooked. And in these situations, you want to go up and over because you avoid the congestion. Now, obviously, if it pulls this way, there is no congestion. So you can just tarp on low. And there's no point in going up and over. But when there is congestion, you have to go up and over. And I'm going to literally show you what happens when I try to tarp on low ground in a stacked game into congestion. So I'm tarping, it's super sketch. And like, I have to smack this guy's wall. And it's like super laggy, so I like fall below my floor and I just get maxed. And then so congested and I'm dead. And then my teammate ends up dying. But if we go back, and if I had simply just go up and over, it's literally insane how easy the rotate looked. So this is our box. We wait for zone to open. Like, let's say this box, right? Just waiting, waiting, waiting. Not yet, not yet, not yet. Now, we place a stair here. We go up. Look at this. We just ramp here. Just use these builds. Go through here. Yep, we're good, we're good, we're good. Box. And just do the same thing again. It would have been so much easier than trying to push through here when all these builds are claimed. And just look at the amount of builds and amount of people here, you know? But if you just elevate up, look, there's no one here. It's so easy if you just elevate when it's congested. This game, we end up playing low ground all the way from 8th zone, so first moving till the last zone, and we end up winning the game. So I'm gonna show the difference from this game and the last game that I showed. So we have really good mats, and we end up pulling zone here. And last game, yes, we pulled the side of zone, so there's two factors that you need. First, you need to pull zone. Like, you need to be front zone, literally at the very front of the zone. Last game, we were not at the very front of the zone. And you have to also pull the correct side of zone. We did not pull the correct side of zone. So the first game we went over, I pulled zone. Like, I was front zone, but I didn't pull the correct side of zone. And then the second game, I was on the correct side of zone, but I wasn't at the front of zone. This game, we checked two boxes. We're on the correct side of zone, and we're in the front side of zone, which gives us low ground priority. So, knowing this, I simply just tarp. Because it's expanding on our side, we create our own dead side as well. So all I have to do is just cheap tarp on this left side this whole way. Look how many mats I'm saving compared to if I would have been over here, for example. Like, I have to tarp all this, like this guy. But me, I can just tarp in wood here, and I'm cheap tarping this whole way here. And as you can see, because it's expanding, we're just on a complete dead side this whole time. And our game is just so easy. We have so much space. We go insta. And then from here, we just play the game. Because we had those two boxes checked, we were able to play low ground for cheap and very safely. The mistake I make in this game is, I mean, it might look like the mats, but the mats are actually decent because we only got max pulls this whole game. So I would say our mats are decent. It's just that this zone, I started panicking. So after someone ziplined through our box, like, I was really panicked. And instead of, like, assessing the situation and just, look, let's just chill for a second and pop chugs, I panic. And look, it's a diagonal pull. So all I had to do was drop down here and play this low ground this whole time, because it's going to open up this way because it's diagonal. But instead, like, I panic. And, like, I go down, and then just to go back up. If I would have literally stayed here, look at this. It opens up here. And look at this low ground. It's one dude. This is the freest low ground ever. But instead, like, I just kept panicking. And I end up dying in the zone. And my teammate clutches up a third. But this should have been a win. And all because I just wasn't calm, and I wasn't ready for zone pull, none of that, you know? This game is 1000% my fault, and I literally just made the worst play ever in the worst rotate ever that burned all of our mats and shield. So what happens is we're on this dead side. Also, I do a very poor job of holding this team. I should have spotted them much earlier, obviously, because we don't want them next to us and to have access to dead side before us. Yet okay, this is the mistake, is that on this duo, I am the shooter. I shoot the gun in the mid game. I don't, like, when we're boxed up and shit, he refarms and I shoot. So why am I doing this? He should be building and refarming. I need to tell him to do that, and I need to shoot and look. Because look how far this team gets before I end up shooting them. Like, yes, they are stupid for this play, but I shouldn't let them do this. And then on this next zone, this is the most obvious zone rotate ever, no? This is dead side, this right side. Obviously, go on this right, on this, below this cliff. But you know what's crazy? I literally go this way. It clearly just shows I wasn't thinking enough, you know? Like, I just simply white lined instead of thinking, okay, what is the best way to rotate this? This is congestion. We don't want to run this way. So, we should run this way. Under this hill. This whole way. Look how free it is. We just go this way. Boom. Yep. Go here, refarm, and we're chilling. I just didn't even think about it. It didn't even occur in my mind that that was a possibility. So clearly, I mean, I don't know what the problem is. Maybe I just wasn't thinking about it, but that's a really big mistake. This game, honestly, same thing. Second moving, it's just too stacked, and I simply forced through low ground, and there's just too many builds. Like, I'm looking at this, obviously there's too many builds, right? There's too many people in here. I knew there was people in here too. I saw someone get a kill in a second. The right play would have been to edit this and go up this way. Go up, and then you're in. But instead, I forced through. Let's spray this. And my teammate gets boxed in, so he ends up dying in his zone because he's trying to get out. And it's just so sketchy, you know? Like, yeah, I get to a good spot now, but I lost a teammate in the process. And I have to build so much when I could have been on this higher layer right here and just chilling and just go. So again, it's just the same thing over and over. And I don't know if it's gonna 1000% work every time, but I have to try something different because this is just not working. With this game, I'm not exactly sure. I have two ideas of why we died, but obviously this positioning kind of fucking sucks. You just look at it. So there's this kid, there's this team, and then this team. There's too many people around us. We're connected to three teams. Connected to three teams. So my thought process with this is either I have to make more space this way, up, right? Maybe that's the problem. I didn't make enough space. Or the problem was, one, me not communicating to my teammate to not go for anything, and two, for him to go for something. So he sees this guy getting fought backside, and then he ends up getting a kill. He still gets hit 100 by this other team though. And yeah, we could use the kill, sure, but then other teams hear the gunshots. Now this team is spraying us. So now we got the whole lobby spraying at us for fucking one kill. And it's either or. The problem's probably most likely. So I don't know which one it is, but it's definitely one of those.